Tonight, the Electoral Commission disqualifies 5 presidential hopefuls. We are live at the Electoral Commission as the EC just dropped those names, referring a number of them to the Criminal Investigations Department for alleged forgery of signatures.
The CID division of the Ghana Police Service, and the police has confirmed that indeed a good number of the signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified and will therefore not contest the 2020 presidential election.
We have reactions for you tonight.
This is Top Story with Evans Mensah.
And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. The future is exciting, and Belacqua mineral water. In the last few minutes, the Electoral Commission has just announced that they has disqualified as many as 5 presidential hopefuls who had just attempted to get onto the ballot paper for December 7. They are all now being referred to the Criminal Investigations Department for alleged forgery of signatures. I want to go live to the Electoral Commission headquarters and bring in my colleague Parker Wilson, who has been at this press conference. Parker, who are these 5 who have been disqualified?
Okay, so Evans, just a while ago, the chairperson of the Electoral Commission updated the whole country on persons who have qualified and disqualified from the presidential race. And I'm going to give you the names as she put out this evening. Now, the chairperson, Madam Evans Mensah, said that independent candidate Kofi Cranton has been disqualified from this year's presidential elections. Again, Marik Kofi Gani also disqualified. Akwesi Adai Odike disqualified. Kwesi Busumuru of the People's Action Party also disqualified, and Ajani Boateng from the United Front Party also disqualified. So 5 presidential hopefuls have been disqualified, whilst the AC has cleared 12 individuals to contest in this year's election. Now, Evans, the chairperson, gave reasons for the disqualification of these individuals, and for her, all the 5 candidates who have been disqualified forged signatures. In fact, in some instances, the EC boss explains that some of the supporters that endorsed his forms were actually not persons who are registered voters, but yet they captured their names onto their nomination forms. And thus, the EC chairperson says, has been referred to the CID for investigation. But however, the 100,000 filing fees will be refunded to these individuals who have been disqualified.
Did you say that the EC will refund the 100,000 CDs to them?
That is exactly what the chairperson said, that the 100,000 Ghana cedis they filed for the nomination fees will be given back to the 5 individuals who have been disqualified from the race.
There are some very serious allegations that the EC is laying tonight before the public against some of these disqualified candidates. The most serious of which involves Mr. Kofi Cranton. We all know him as the man who shot to fame after a diasporan meeting with some members of the executive, at which he challenged the then Deputy Trade Minister and caused a stir, really. It was something that we discussed at length. He then becomes an independent candidate. The allegation against him is quite a serious one, to the point where he is alleged to have not only almost stolen people from the CPP's camp, but also forged their signatures. In fact, it took the CPP to report him and write a letter to the EC on this. Listen to Madam Evans Mensah on what actually happened in Mr. Kofi Cranton's case, allegedly.
There were no IT issues with his nomination forms. However, The technical team noticed that 19 persons who had allegedly supported the CPP candidate had also supported Mr. Kofi Kranting. A further check revealed that these persons had not endorsed the candidate. Indeed, the CPP wrote to the commission about the issue, indicating that these persons were executives of their party. The technical team found that the signatures of these 19 persons were fake, and the matter was referred to the CID department of the Ghana Police Service. The CID did confirm that these signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified, and the commission would forward this issue to the police for further action.
We'll get some more on this unfolding story very shortly. We also work in the phone lines to get an understanding of what exactly happened from Mr. Kofi Kranting. You remember he was part of the Joy FM Multimedia Money independent candidates debate. One of those, very articulate, eloquent folks. We'll try and get that clarification for you, plus the CBP also, because they had written to the EC on this, as you've heard. Parker, I wonder if any of these candidates were there at the EC at all today as this was announced?
No, I'm told by Madame Seviano that these candidates were actually not invited for this press briefing. They had submitted a nomination forms, and so they were only here to let the world know that after submission of the nomination forms, these are the individuals who are qualified, and these are the individuals who have been disqualified from the race. So it was just a press engagement with the media this evening.
Okay. Now, also, another independent candidate, Marie Kofi Gan, was also disqualified. Do we know why?
Okay, so also, according to the chairperson of the commission, Mr. Kofi Gan forged some signatures. Some individuals who had endorsed the forms were also not registered voters. So it runs through with all the disqualified aspirants. All of them had to forge signatures, and some of them did not even have individuals to endorse their forms, but yet they themselves created or manufactured names onto the nomination forms, which the commission says has been referred to the CID. So it was all about the forgery of signatures and also manufacturing some names which are not on the voters list.
These are the details of that particular incident with Marie Kofi Gan, as put out by Madame Evans Mensah a short while ago.
Mr. Kofi Gan was the 12th person to file his nominations with the commission. There were no IC issues. However, the technical team found that a number of the signatures of many supporters followed the same pattern. And this was the signatures were referred to the CID division of the Ghana Police Service. And the police has confirmed that indeed a good number of the signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified and will therefore not contest the 2020 presidential election.
If you're just joining us tonight, 5 presidential hopefuls have just been disqualified by the Electoral Commission a short while ago. The announcement had been made. They include Marie Kofi Gan, Kofi Kranting, Odike of the United Front Party. Parker, I said with me. Parker, who are the other two? Hello, Parker.
Hello, Evan.
Let's run through the full list of those disqualified tonight.
Okay, so Kwesi Busumuru of the People's Action Party has been disqualified. Ajani Mboaten, flag bearer of the United Front Party, disqualified. Marie Kofi Gan, an independent presidential candidate, also disqualified. Kofi Kranting, independent presidential candidate, disqualified. And so these are the 5 individuals who have been disqualified. And then finally, Akwesi Odike of the United Progressive Party. Now, Evans, we've been fortunate to have the Head of Public Affairs for the Electoral Commission, Madame Silviano, on the line, and I'm sure you have some questions for her. But, Madame, let me just ask briefly, why is the EC refunding or giving back the 100,000 filing fees to the disqualified candidates?
Yeah, thank you very much, and a very good evening to you, your viewers and your listeners as well. Yes, in this situation, when the aspirant is not able to sail through, we have no alternative but to give than to give the monies back to the aspirants. But for those who are able to sail through, now their monies will be kept. If they are able to get 25% of the total votes, then that is another scenario. It means that their monies will be refunded, to them. Otherwise, it means that the money will be forfeited. Okay.
So for me, listening to the chairperson carefully, I got a sense that scrutinizing the nomination forms and all of that, you detected some fraudulent activities by the persons or candidates whom you disqualified. I want to know, you say you referred the case to the police. I want to know whether the police has invited these individuals, and then what's the action being taken by the commission themselves?
The chairperson indicated that all these cases have been forwarded to the police for the appropriate actions to be taken. So as soon as they are able to finalize what the next steps, are really going to be, we'll put it in the public domain.
But do you know whether they've been invited by the police or not?
I'm not in the situation to tell you at the moment.
And for the 12 candidates you've cleared to contest in the election, have you officially written to them, or you get a sense that through this press conference, at least they'll get to know that they've qualified? Yeah,
the die is cast. Now we've been able to make an official announcement. So as soon as practicable, the commission will write formally to them, indicating that they have sailed through and will follow through the other processes.
How soon should they expect these letters from the commission?
That's why I indicated that as soon as practicable, so very soon.
Okay, so Evans, now is the head of public affairs for the Electoral Commission, Madame Silviano. I don't know if you have any questions for her, but she's here with me.
It's Madame Silviano, thank you for staying with us. So in the case of the alleged forgery, the determination was only made by the CID. You only took the steps you've taken because the CID had established that these signatures were forged.
Evans, all I can say is that we will follow due process. These are the issues we identified, and we needed clarification. That's why we involved the police. Now, at this point in time, the chairperson indicated that we'll follow through with the other process. So formally, the police will take over.
I wonder if before the announcement today, the affected aspirants were given an opportunity to respond to the findings before they were formally disqualified.
We dialogued with them as a commission, at a certain level, during the period. Because we wanted, the chairperson indicated that, for instance, some of the aspirants or the candidates now had issues, but because it was within the period, the scope of time, they were able to resolve them. So we judged with them, we dialogued with them. But I would want to believe that the 5 who had issues, know about the issues that we're talking about. They do know about the issues we are talking about, and they do well know and understand the consequences of their actions as well.
Okay, I guess the clarity I was seeking is once the CID came back and said these were forged signatures, were they alerted to the fact that, listen, the CID says these signatures are forged, what do you have to say about them before you went ahead to say effectively disqualified?
All I can say for now is that they have been alerted, and as a commission, will follow due process and get you informed about our next line of action.
Now that you've settled on 12 presidential aspirants, the next stage is to, I guess, go ahead and do the notice of poll.
The balloting.
Exactly, the balloting. Have you set the time frame for this to happen?
Would indicate that by tomorrow, I believe. We'll give you the timetable, and then the scope, and then the process. How we're going to go about the balloting. We'll definitely put it in the public domain, and then write formally to the candidates who have so sailed through, so that they would follow and then come over for us to complete the process.
Is there an appeal process built into this announcement today? Are they allowed to appeal?
Evans, in 2016 we had 2 days. Now, 2020 we give them 5 days, ample time. We have given we give the aspirants, a very long period of time within which they were given the opportunity to make amends, if it was necessary. Now we are over and done with that process, and we are moving ahead with the process. So at the moment, we'll go ahead with the balloting. That's where we are now. I don't want to believe that there's no appeal. We're over and done with that. There wouldn't be any of such an opportunity for any of those who have lost the slot due to what has happened.
I'm grateful, Madam Sylvia. I know she speaks for the Electoral Commission. A short while ago, my colleague MFA Powell managed to call up Akwesi Odike of the United Progressive Party, UPP. He's also been disqualified tonight, also on allegation that some of the signatures, the individuals who endorsed his forms, had those signatures were forged. Listen to his reaction.
This is being orchestrated by MPP. They did this with Charlotte, and we knew they are going to repeat same now, because information reaching my office is that the EC, in collaboration with MPP, are doing everything within their minds to disqualify me because of where I hail from and my party colors. This has been the bane of my disqualification. Nonetheless, there is nothing like any fake signature. All the people who endorse me has called me that EC has called them to authenticate whether they endorse me. So I am aware of everything, but so many media people told me before this release that they will disqualify me on grounds that Akufo-Addo and MPP doesn't want me to be part of this election.
Why wouldn't they want you to be part of this election?
Like I told you earlier on, this happened in 2016. Gabi Ochedako and Co. were micromanaging the EC. And I'm not surprised, because Ghana at the moment, the truth has been swept under the carpet. It is orchestrated by the ruling government to do everything within their minds to ensure that I will not run 2020 election. You know what? It has never happened in the history of this country that Electoral Commission will be keeping Ghanaians in suspense for more than a week after the filing of nomination date has come to a full closure. And everybody, including the chiefs and the people of this country, are happy with this scenario. Why? Can't we speak the truth for once? And in any case, when we submitted our nomination, they gave us 6 areas where they thought was faulty, and we were given the opportunity to go and rectify them. And when the documents was screened in the IC center, we sent through, and they congratulated us. So I don't know why they are using another strategy to come and tell us that some of the signatures, and who is reporting about signature? One person can sign 10 signatories, and it will differ. So I am surprised that the EC is doing this, but we are in a country where truth has been, swept under carpet.
So is there an action that you'll be taking on this? Would you take this issue up any further? And because you really wanted to contest this election, and what exactly would you do about this decision? Normally,
dealing with an institution like Electoral Commission, they have to write to us officially and tell us why they came out with this verdict. Until I got that in writing, I'm not sure I can do much, but I'm waiting for their written verdict.
Are you disappointed in this latest decision?
Madam, even the Electoral Commission is using it's not using a true certified registration. What she is using now, it is not the true certified one. And never in the history of this country that we can use a register which is not true certified. And I know there are big hands in this. I knew it's going to happen because I'm a Shanti guy, and the Akufo-Addo doesn't want me to be on the ballot sheet because I'm a Shanti guy. That is why the woman was finding it extremely difficult to come out with the verdict earlier on. And it's all right.
Are you not being overly confident? What will be your inputs in this? Are you able to overturn anything? What exactly will be your contribution such that the president will not want you to contest this election?
Madam, there are no small players in a big match. Why would they also use any dubious means to get rid of me? Why? Why should they do this? And in their own party, they are using this mafia way to disqualify so many people. That's why a lot of people are running independent on the parliamentary. Okay. And Akufo-Addo is managing the EC at all levels. Whatever mistakes, whatever decisions that EC arrive at, which some of us weren't comfortable with, there wasn't any remedy for it.
Okay.
And the EC is whatever and get away with it. But Charlotte did this against me. Although I was true, they used court. As I'm speaking to you now, the Electoral Commission has granted some people to send me to court at Obuasi. We are still there, and the plan didn't work. They wanted to place injunction on my filing, and it didn't work out. The court threw it away, and they turned around to use this as a yardstick to, disqualify me. Let me tell you, madam.
So, if you're just joining us, 5 presidential aspirants who filed to contest in this year's elections have been disqualified. One of them we just had there, Mr. Kwesi Dikezi of his party, and himself, in fact, has been disqualified in the upcoming elections. All of them issues relating to alleged forgery of signatures. Their cases have been referred to the CID for further investigations. I want to bring in, get a legal perspective to what has just been unfolding in the last few minutes from the Electoral Commission's headquarters. Justice Abdullahi is a lawyer, private legal practitioner, and is on the telephone line with me. Justice Abdullahi, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you so much, Evans. I believe you're doing good.
I'm great. So we're just listening to the Electoral Commission today say that signatures have been forged, confirmed by the CID. And they've sent this over to them for further work to be done. Seems like you're dealing with a state agency like this, like the EC. I wonder of what legal implication is there. This is a crime, is it?
Indeed, forgery is a crime under our laws. However, you do not make allegations of forgery against a person contesting for the president of this republic, without first of all having been completely certain that indeed the matters that have come to your notice amount to forgery. I would rather the Electoral Commissioner had sought those second opinions from the Forensics Department of the CID headquarters before coming out with that conclusive statement that indeed some signatures have been forged.
So I want to quickly, on one of the cases, quickly sort of share what the Madame Mensah said, the processes leading to this particular decision that was taken. Just see if that clears up some of the legal questions you've just raised. Listen to Madame Mensah on the case of Mr. Kofi Kranting, who has also been disqualified tonight.
There were no IT issues with his nomination form. However, the technical team noticed that 19 persons who had allegedly supported the CPP candidate had also supported Mr. Kofi Kranting. A further check revealed that these persons had not endorsed the candidate. Indeed, the CPP wrote to the Commission about the issue, indicating that these persons were executives of their party. The technical team found that the signatures of these 19 persons were fake, and the matter was referred to the CID Department of the Ghana Police Service. The CID did confirm that these signatures were fake. The candidate has therefore been disqualified, and the Commission would forward this issue to the police for further action.
So, Justice, the chairperson that says when they suspected the forgery, they sent it to the CID. CID returns to say yes, fake, and formed the opinion. They came to the conclusion that they must be disqualified. Does that satisfy the legal procedure you were touching on?
Indeed, that would not be a complete satisfaction of the requirements of the law. If you allege that a person has forged a signature, luckily for us, the persons involved are all alive. Those whose signatures are alleged to have been forged are around. Those that are alleged to be the perpetrators of the forgery are also around. I would think a proper procedure would mean that inviting the ones whose signatures have been forged and the one who is alleged to have forged the signature to come and speak to the matter as to whether indeed those signatures are their signatures and whether or not they have been forged. Without going through this secondary procedure and simply relying on a forensic evidence, which could also be questioned. Indeed, the forensic evidence is not a done deal. It has not been tested in any way at any forum to verify whether or not it is correct. The position that they have put up is correct. So, and the reasons why you have to go through these rigorous procedures are that the persons involved are persons contesting for the position of the president of this republic. It is a very important high position. It is not a person contesting for what's it called, an assemblyman or a unit committee election. It is a presidential election, and some of these allegations could get these persons involved in a criminal offense, which could even, if you're not careful, they could probably go to prison for. It's a felony. It's a felony, so it could land them in prison for a very long time if the law was to be implemented as it ought to be against them. And so coming out with such conclusions should not leave any doubt, which is why the persons whose signatures are alleged to be forged should have been invited. They are alive. They are not dead. You don't lose anything by asking them whether or not the signatures in question are their true signatures. Multiple persons have multiple signatures. So it is possible that a person might have signed a different signature under a different circumstance, or would have even appended the same signature, or in his bid to append the same signature, got it, a percentage wrong, depending on the circumstance and the platform upon which he was even signing. So you don't come out with such conclusive statements and disqualify a person who holds the destiny of the republic in his hands, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, as of tonight, we understand that the CID may be looking into these matters going forward, with of course, a possibility of prosecutions also. We're following this closely. We have more reactions for you on Newsnight on this developing story. Newsnight starts right now.